Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hope everyone's week is off to a good start. Had a busy start to the week here at Vintage Classic Specialists, including a new mini project, which is what I call these smaller projects now that are not in a full restoration, but like a decent little chunk of work here. This one belongs to James 67 something. He's a viewer and frequent commenter on here. I'll come back to his car and what we're doing on it here a little later. Well, I'm standing here next to the Cowlick car, so let's talk about this one briefly. Main thing on this one today was putting his passenger door back together. So again, I did put on the new seals, the new felt channels here, which are infinitely nicer than the impy ones. I hope that they last a lot longer. I have little to no doubt that they will. Let's see if I can get zoomed in on these. Yeah, you just see these are much higher quality, much better looking than, I don't know why this won't focus. Come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, they're just way nicer quality. So anyway, yeah, I think they're going to last well on here. But yeah, so pretty much finished putting this door together. That was kind of about what I did on this one today. And then I worked on a bunch of other stuff, but let me talk about what Rafa did. So we had our friend Kent, who is a bitchin' pinstriper, and he also has a laser and he can do stencils. So the other day he did this for us. Look at that. So that is the correct font and lettering and arrows and everything for the gas tank for a Barndoor. So this is the reserve lever down here. So it's got 3 positions. RES is reserve actually. AUF, which sounds like it would be off, is actually on. And ZU is off. So yeah, those are the 3 positions. So this lever corresponds to those positions, that way, down, or that way, are their respective positions. So yeah, thank you to Kent for the awesome job he did. He created the stencil and then airbrushed that on right on the tank there. So pretty much how it was done on the original ones with stencils and some kind of spray. I doubt they were using an airbrush, although it's possible. But anyway, yeah, so there you go. Bitchin' little detail there. Love that. Never get tired of looking at it. But anyway, yeah, so since we had that stenciled finally, which obviously was done with the tank out of the car, now Rafa was able to install the tank and the reserve lever itself that of course all this artwork is referring to, and the little, I don't know, seal or whatever you want to call this rubber bit that goes up here, and the restored lid, all that. And then I showed you guys this before, the spare tire strap that Rafa made with the correct buckle and little end and all that stuff. So yeah, really cool details here. Again, love how that looks with the stenciling and stuff on there. Just wait till the motor's in this thing. It's going to look insane. So another big thing that happened today is this. So the 16-inch early Porsche replica wheels came in today, and they look unbelievable. So I need to talk to the owner, but after seeing these on here, Rafa and I now are thinking about leaving them this silver color, which is the correct color that they would have been on Porsches. I think we were afraid that the wheels, or excuse me, the drums wouldn't really pop through these. And so we were thinking, I don't know, I think Rafa was really leaning toward painting the wheels black. I'm just generally not a huge fan of black wheels on cars. Sometimes I like it a lot, like on that red car that we put the kind of this style wheel on it a few months back that was like a kind of set up for like a road race or rally car. It looked great on that red car, but I don't know, generally not a huge fan of black wheels. The owner and I were talking about maybe something between this and black, like almost like a dark gray or something. But honestly, what I didn't realize was that the fins and stuff of the drums would be that close to the sort of D-shaped openings. I thought they'd be kind of set back in there further where you wouldn't really see them, but I mean, they're like right there. And then of course the whole center is just like shining through there in the opening. We're definitely not putting hubcaps on this thing. So again, need to talk to the owner, but Rafa and I are very much on the same page now. Is just leaving these sort of the original correct silver, and these drums still just like pop right through there, especially the fins in the in these D-shaped openings. And then once there's some bitchin' tires on here, it's gonna look awesome. Super excited. So yeah, another huge piece of the puzzle. Those coming in today, they were not cheap, but they look amazing. And again, they are the correct size, 16 by 3¼ So super narrow. I mean, they're like, I don't know, motorcycle wheels or something, but that's actually correct for Porsches and for these cars too. 16 by 3¼ Another big thing today was the panels came in from Miss Clara of Clara's Panels. And there you go. Rafa got one of them installed, and they look pretty amazing. So yeah, they've got the correct pocket in them, all riveted in place and stuff like it's supposed to be, and the color is looking correct. And yeah, they look incredible. So very happy with those. And yeah, I guess the rest of them can go in now. Just this is what he had time to install today, so very cool. Trying to think what else Rafa did today. Like he was working on it all day. I honestly don't remember what else he did today. I think mainly this and then that panel, and there may have been some other small things that he did, but yeah, for the most part, those are the big things that happened on this one today. So before I talk about this one, why is this so washed out looking? There we go. So yeah, so this one I actually went ahead and started on it today because my stupid hardware is not in yet. So here this 36 horse sits waiting on hardware. Super annoying. Oh, before I get to the orange car, Mr. Clyde Berg of famous Clyde Berg finished up the heads. So here they are. They look incredible. So we went and put dual springs in them because of course we're running a lot more lift and we'll have more RPMs than stock would. And then these are bigger valves. We actually went and set them up with the valves out of like Okrasa head, so they're bigger than the stock 36 horsepower valves. And of course he did a high quality valve job, and then I had him CC the chambers down to I think 41 cc's, and that is going to set the compression ratio. I think it ended up being like 7.8, maybe 7.85, something like that to 1. So should be awesome. He set the springs up in here. He set them up for the particular cam and all that stuff we're wanting. So super dialed in the heads. They're going to run awesome with those little dual side draft carburetors. So yeah, that was kind of a big deal on this one, is getting the heads done. So yeah, I've got this amazing pile of parts here now and no hardware to put it together. Beyond frustrating. Anyway, that's enough of that rant. So yeah, this one went ahead and started on it today. Jason from Air Cooled Vintage Works, my buddy, is going to be bringing the adjustable beam for this guy tomorrow, and I had some time this afternoon since I don't have any hardware. If you can tell, I'm a little miffed about that. Yeah, so I went ahead and started turning into this one and got his front end somewhat disassembled here, getting ready to pull the beam out. I like to go ahead and pull on one like this where we're swapping the beam, I like to pull a lot of stuff off the beam before I pull the beam out of the car, just because it's so much lighter that way and easier to kind of deal with, and it's actually easier to disassemble the the steering knuckles and stuff from it with it in the car, because the beam is held in place there. So I like to take all this stuff off with the beam still in the car. I may leave the arms on. I may even pull those off, and then drop the beam out, and then pretty much reverse order, put more or less like the bare beam in there, and then assemble it from there. So, by the way, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Yeah, you can see that. So I was correct. The way this car was lowered is they yanked out torsion leaves. So you can see the gaps in there. So these torsion leaves are supposed to be like a tight stack of individual leaves in there, and you can see the gaps in there, which means somebody literally just pulled some of the leaves out to basically make the the spring constant lower, make it less stiff, and that's how they lowered it. I was 90 some odd % sure that's what they had done, because again, I didn't see drop spindles, I didn't see adjusters or welding on the beam, so it was pretty much like, okay, they old schooled it. And who knows how long ago that was done, but it's a fairly terrible way to lower one of these cars. The other thing that I found, or a few, is one is that his front brake hoses, they look pretty old and they had some cracking on them. I haven't pulled the drums yet. I do want to pull those now and look at his wheel cylinders and see what kind of condition they're in. But the most concerning thing I saw about the brakes is that, well, let me just show you if you'll be able to see in here. You may or may not be able to tell, but that is literally bone dry. You are looking at the bottom of the, let's see if I can get my finger down in there and touch the bottom. I got my finger in there and touched the bottom. Look at that, pretty much dry. It's just like a little greasy residue on there. This thing had no brake fluid in it. I mean, obviously the brakes felt really good when I just drove the car around in the parking lot. So the fluid is maybe, partially like up this line. There's definitely not enough in it that there's any showing in the cylinder. It does have brakes at the moment, which means there's some fluid in there, but who knows how far down that fluid is, and even if it's to the point where there's air getting in there, and who knows why there is no brake fluid in there. It makes me think there's probably a leak somewhere. So I told the owner already, I said, hey, you got no brake fluid, your brake system is dangerous, and we need to go through it and make sure that it's safe and replace anything, including those brake hoses that looked pretty old and crappy. So yeah, got to go through his brake system, see what's going on. If there's a leak, find it. If it's just from, neglect or whatever, then fill it up, bleed it, make sure it's all good. But one way or the other, I need to go through these brakes now with a fine-tooth comb, which wasn't part of the original scope of what I was doing here. But now that we've seen some issues, main one of which is zero brake fluid in there, I'll have to go ahead and pull the back drums off at some point, inspect the hoses, the wheel cylinders, all that stuff back there. We want this guy to be safe and enjoy his car. And this car being a 65 and not having disc brakes, it does have a single circuit brake cylinder. So the thing is, if he lost anything, he would lose everything, because again, it's a single cylinder with all four wheels tied onto that one piston basically on the master cylinder. So you either got all your brakes or you pretty much got none, at least in terms of the hydraulic system. So yeah, kind of scary. He was driving it around like that. But anyway, other than that, yeah, the front end is probably have the front end out in the morning, unless I get my hardware and get back on that engine build. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did on this one today. So this car, which again belongs to James 67 something or other, can't remember his whole screen name. You guys have, I'm sure, seen him on our channel here. He comments semi-frequently. Anyway, this is 67. He's been working on it for quite some time. He's done most of the work himself, and he's at the point where he just wants a little help, a little nudge, getting over the finish line. So main things we're doing is we're putting his windshield in here for him. He's got disc brakes on all four wheels. He wants those gone through, bled. There's no real adjustment per se on disc brakes, but basically wants us to make his brakes work, put the windshield in it. And then his motor, I think it's pretty much fully assembled. It does need to be plumbed to an external oil cooler, which I think is up underneath there, mounted and stuff already. And I think he has all the fittings, so I pretty much just need to route those lines. And then, yeah, fill his motor up with oil, get it running. I'm assuming like tune the carb, stuff like that. Cam brake in, drain the oil, adjust valves, all that good stuff. So yeah, pretty much I think by the time it leaves here, I think it'll have a running, driving car. And then, yeah, we'll see if the scope changes from there. But that's the main thing, is do whatever handful of things need to be done to the motor, which again, I think it's like a stock 1500 maybe, which is what the 67 would have come with. And then go through the brakes and then put a windshield in it. And so, yeah, cool little project, great looking car. This is original logoing on it. I guess this car was a car belonging to some company. I don't know what the name of the company was, but apparently they were in Southern Nevada, and apparently that was their phone number. I don't remember what he said the name was. This door has a little bit more preserved. It's got this big O, which almost looks like a Oakley, excuse me, symbol. I don't think it was, pretty sure it was an Oakley, but anyway, so yeah, kind of cool. He's gonna roll with the patina and the logos and stuff on there. So yeah, really cool looking car. Looks like something that you just have fun with and not be afraid to drive. It's great looking, nice stance. I love the 2 liters. Cool little car for sure. So that's the plan, is get this puppy going for him and get it roadworthy, get him over the finish line. Excuse me, guys. Jacob today, busy day in the shop here. So Jacob was here most of the day, and he did this, which is take the super disgusting 1600 dual port that came out of the tennis ball, aka the 74 standard Beetle, and he tore it down to a short block. And in fact, I think he has all the hardware taken off the whole case halves here, so it's pretty much ready to like lift this case half off, but then we kind of ran out of time and stuff like that. But he'll be back in on Wednesday, and we'll probably go ahead and have him yank the case halves apart, disassemble the crank, and then clean a bunch of stuff, and probably go ahead and send this over to Brian Roth and have him in turn send it out to Brothers Machine and let them work their magic, and then probably go ahead and have Brian Roth build it up for us. So yeah, Jacob did a great job on that as usual. So I believe that's it for today, guys. A little bit of a long video, but lots of balls in the air, so to speak, here with all these projects going on. And lots of people. Our paint and body guy was working on the apron for this car today. I think he's got it in primer, about ready to maybe like block one more time and paint. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of stuff going on here. Cars coming in, etc. So that is it for today, guys. Appreciate you all watching. Thanks again for all the comments, likes, and so on. We'll see you again soon. Bye.